Morning, everybody. Great to see everyone. Hey, Shermanskys, how you doing? Good to see you. Our God is awesome. How would you define awesome? How awesome is he? Well, he's wonder, it's reverence, amazing. We marvel at him, we admire him, and we worship in fear, healthy fear of God. He's an awesome God, amen? Yesterday, I heard an awesome song on Facebook, and this person was singing it, and I go, who is that singer? I mean, I was so amazed. She had an awesome voice. And so I typed in her name to see who she was, and I couldn't find her image because she was AI. And I go, oh, man. I felt like it was taken from me. You know, I mean, the voice was amazing. It was AI produced. And I go, wow. Imagine when we get to heaven and the 27 parts we're going to hear of, of harmony and things that we can't even imagine. What we have here doesn't even compare. We can't even imagine how awesome heaven will be and how awesome our God is. And I pray that our I Am series helped you a little bit to understand how awesome God is, how awesome Jesus is. The things that he said about himself, I pray that it left you with awe when he said, I am the way, I am the route, I am the way. It's not what we think. He is the way. It's not lead me to a way. Jesus is the way. And I pray that you're in awe of when he said, I am the truth. I am the opposite of an illusion. I'm the real deal. It's me. I pray that we're in awe of the truth. I pray that we are in awe of the life, the source that we have, the light of the world. I pray that we will be in awe of the light because of the fallen state this world is in. That we would be in awe of everything that can illuminate the reality of who we are and where we are. And I pray that you're in awe of the Good Shepherd. There's nobody better that can shepherd our lives. I pray that you are a obedient, faithful, trusting sheep. Our God is an awesome God. Our sermon series for the rest of the month of May has to do with repurposing our lives. Repurposing our lives. Today, we're going to talk about repurposing or repurposed brokenness. Next Sunday, repurposed pain. The following Sunday, repurposed gifts. Repurposed gifts. Today, as we focus on repurposed brokenness. Repurposed brokenness. And in order for us to do this theme justice, we got to understand two words, purpose and brokenness. What are they? What are they? How does one define purpose? It's the reason something exists. That's purpose. Do you have purpose this morning? Why do you exist? That's purpose. The intended function it fulfills, the meaning behind our lives. What is the purpose of us being here? It's purpose. For Christians, it's living according to what God created and redeemed us to be. What did God create you to be? That's your purpose. Bottom line is discovering why God made you and living intentionally in that direction. That's purpose. Do you have purpose this morning? Are you living in your purpose this morning? As Christians, we can't answer the question of who we are. Who are we? We can answer that question. We can answer the question of why we're here. We know that. Why we exist. We understand that because we understand God. Amen? Do you remember when you couldn't? Remember when you didn't have a purpose? How did that go? When you didn't understand why you existed? You were frustrated, bitter, confused. You had these hopes and dreams that were still dreams that didn't become a reality. And you wrestled with why do you exist? When you didn't know the why behind your life, we had to be repurposed, amen? And God had to show us how to stop living only for ourselves and begin living for what we were created for, how we were created to be. You know, God gives Jeremiah a powerful, powerful visual of repurpose through the image of a potter and clay. A potter and clay. And guess which one we are? The clay. The potter was shaping the vessel, but the clay became marred in his hands. Jeremiah, instead of throwing the clay away, what does the potter do? Reshape it into another vessel that seemed best to him. In Jeremiah 18, we'll read verses 1 through 6. Says, this is the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord. Go down to the potter's house, and there I will give you my message. So I went down to the potter's house and saw him working at the wheel, but the pot he was shaping from the clay was marred in his hands. So the potter formed into another pot, shaping it as seemed best to him. Then the word of the Lord came to me and said, can I not do with you, Israel, as this potter does? Declares the Lord. Like clay in the hand of the potter, so are you in my hand, Israel. How does this passage speak of repurposed to you? How does that speak of, you can can you leave it up, please? How does that passage speak of repurposed, a repurposed life? What do you think? The potter, the clay, it was marred, reshaping. Yes. Can we turn her up? I'm sorry. Can we turn her up? Yeah, thank you.
I want to be the potter sometimes rather than the clay, but when it says that God is shaping me as what seems best for, to him, means it's going to be best for me too.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, that's very, very, very interesting. Sometimes we want to be the potter.
Yeah.
We're trying to shape everybody else, right? Yeah. Yes.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So to be the clay, I have to be soft and I have to be moldable. And I think for me, even now, I'm 70 now. And I tend to think, I'm done. Leave me alone.
Yes, yes.
Got it hard enough, but no, to be soft and moldable, and especially a heart and just humility.
Yeah.
And just to picture myself being soft for him.
Yes.
I
appreciate your openness. The older we get, sometimes it's hard for us to be reshaped. We go, hey, I spent 50 years in this shape, and I'm staying right here. And I'm going to die right now in this shape, right? And God has other plans. Who has? Yes.
It's incredible to me that God has his standard of what marred is and what good is. He recognizes when it's not going right, and it's his initiative, his choice to try and make us, mold us into what is in his eyes. So we're sitting there, we're broken. We think we got to do the fixing.
Yeah.
But God is sitting there already figuring out how he's going to reshape us.
Wow. Yeah, we want to be the engineers. Yes.
So when it says, but the pot he was shaping from the clay was marred in his hands, so the potter formed it into another pot. Sometimes we're going along and we think we're doing good, and then everything goes, and you're like, where am I going now?
Yes.
He'd probably be making you into another pot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Jim.
I remember coming to Tallahassee in 1990 thinking, this is the pot I'm going to be. I'm going to be legislative staff. I'm going to have this and that.
Yeah.
And God's like, no, you're going to be a completely different pot. I had no idea.
Yeah, don't we hate the change, the replanting, the reshaping? It's difficult for everybody, right? Yes.
I was thinking about all the different ways that we can be marred. You know, some of it is just we all have a sinful nature in us, but also the sinful nature of other people mar us, you know, according to things that happen to us.
That's right.
And but God often uses those things. He repurposes them.
Yes, that's right.
To mold us.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
grow.
Yeah, and sometimes we even get attitudes toward God. Why did you let this happen to me? Why am I marred in this way? You didn't protect me. And God says, well, I'm trying to shape you into something a bit different. But it's hard for us to see. Yeah, one more.
Yeah, I was kind of going to go along those lines as well, because a lot of the times when we are marred and, you know, we may question it or whatnot, it's the fact that, you know, he's then going to mold us into something else. That way, those who are marred and they see the reformation in between your relationship and God, they can learn from that now. And a lot of times, you know, we can be fighting those, that reshaping, and, you know, it's sometimes going to end up affecting those that God is trying to get us to affect in a positive way to, you know, land where he's trying to take us.
That's right. Yeah, sometimes I have an attitude toward repurpose because I'm like, no, I want to be in the shape that I want to be. Please don't reshape me. But God is like, I'm trying to repurpose your life, AB. And what I learned from this is failure is not final. Failure is not final. It could be the beginning of something really powerful. Too far gone, you can't remake me, but to be repurposed. Amen? Purposed. Amen? What we call ruin, God calls reworkable. But we got